several weeks ago, I was at a dinner and I was sitting with Chris Kramer, and I was telling her about, she's like, how's retired life? I'm like, I really wouldn't know, because priests really don't ever get to retire. The only person who knows I'm retired is the person who signs the paychecks at the diocese, I think. But anyway, I said my first gig, I guess, as a retired priest was serving as chaplain for the University of Dallas on their Rome campus at the summer program. And she's like, tell me more about that. So I told her about it. She goes, would you come speak to our group about that? Because I'm not sure everybody really knows about this summer program. Now, how many of you have been to the Rome campus? Okay, I figured you had been, Deacon. It's an awesome place. It's a spirit-filled place, and it is a great place to study. And UD has had a presence in Rome for over 50 years. First in the city of Rome, and then about 30 years ago, they bought a property, a vineyard actually, about 20 kilometers south of Rome, in a town called Marino, but it's right next to Castel Gandolfo, which is the Pope's summer residence. So it's in the country, but not terribly separated. It's easy access to Rome. UD Rome has been part of the regular UD curriculum in all those 50 years. In fact, most students, especially the liberal arts students, spend one semester of their sophomore year typically on the Rome campus, taking classes. Same classes are offered there as are offered in Irving. But the summer program is a newer thing. It's been in existence for several years, but it's open to students from other universities as well. And that's something I think a lot of people don't know about. For example, this summer, we had most of the students were from UD, but we had students from Texas A&M and Trinity and Incarnate Word and Notre Dame and Hillsdale and several universities. And we need to, the University of Dallas is trying to get the word out that this summer program is open to any students. The classes offered in the summer program are typically a history class, history of Western civilization, a philosophy class, a literature class, and a theology class. So students can pick up 12 credit hours during the summer in Rome. The tuition is not huge. Tuition is the same whether you go to Rome or whether you go to Irving. The housing costs are about the same whether you go to Rome or whether you stay in Irving. And you can't go do 4 years in Rome. They're not going to let you do that. But the semester or the Rome summer is not. It's substantial, but it's not the same as saying, well, I'm going to go spend 3 months in Europe this summer. It's a bargain, and the education that people get there is just unbelievable. I got my undergraduate degree many years ago, and something like this wasn't available to me at that time. Nor would I don't know if I would even have been excited about doing that. But this summer, I attended classes. I did field trips. I heard lectures. And let me tell you, there's no substitute for hearing a lecture about Socrates' final days while you're standing in Socrates' prison cell, or hearing about the Battle of Lepanto when you're on the beach and the professor's saying the Persians came from this, or the Ottomans came from this direction, and the Christians came from this direction, and you're standing there on the beach at Lepanto and realizing that most of the ships that participated in that battle are right there in front of you, except they're underwater. But still, the experience that you get from those things are just unbelievable, and they're life-changing for most of the students. We actually probably got a few vocations out of the Rome summer program this summer, not for the Diocese of Dallas, but so this program is great. While they're there in the summertime, and the fall and spring semester are similar in nature in that for the history classes or the art classes, you go to Florence and you go view the works of the great masters, and you have lectures about Michelangelo while you're standing there in front of his works or in front of his tomb. We went to Florence, Venice, Athens, Corinth. We spent 10 days in Greece. Also on the weekends, a few weekends, the students were free to travel on their own, and they went to some incredible places on their own over the weekends, and came back and told the rest of the students about their experiences there. Experiences in Rome itself were unbelievable. We got to go to the papal audience, see Pope Leo, get up close and personal with him. We got to go to Mass at Castel Gandolfo, where the Pope was celebrating this. Pope Francis, excuse me, Pope Francis had closed down Castel Gandolfo pretty much, but when Pope Leo became Pope, he opened it up again, and the people of Castel Gandolfo, which is really a fairly small town, they were so excited about having him back. And when he goes to the summer residence, he goes out and celebrates Mass at the local churches around there. So we were able to go to Mass at Castel Gandolfo at I can't remember, St. Thomas? I don't remember now the name of the church there. You go to so many churches when you're in Italy, they all kind of run together. But he's an awesome Pope, by the way. I love listening to him. He doesn't have an accent. That's you don't have to work through that. But actually just this week, he recognized the students of UD that were studying in Rome in his weekly audience, and he didn't just go through the list of people like he usually does. He took time to acknowledge the students and faculty of University of Dallas studying there in Rome, and prayed a blessing over them specifically. So that was pretty cool. Some interesting stories we had about the students there. We went to the papal audience. That's every Wednesday, and we got up next to the railing because we knew the Pope Mobile would be coming by. And one of the seminarians that was there this summer flagged down the Pope and engaged him in a conversation. He had taken with him, the seminarian had taken with him Rerum Novarum, which is an encyclical by Pope Leo the 13th. It was published, I think, in 1870, and he had a copy of that with him. And when the Pope came by, he held up this book, and he said, "Pope Leo, sign my book." And the Pope stopped. He stopped the Pope Mobile, and he said, "Where are you from?" And he said, "Well, I'm from Louisiana." And he said, so anyway, he gave him the book, and the Pope took the book. He's like, "Well, you got a pen?" So he handed the Pope a pen, and the Pope opened to the title page where it said Leo the 13th, and he signed Leo the 14th underneath that and handed it back to him. And he's like, Can I celebrate Mass with you? Can I serve Mass for you?" And the Pope said, "Well, I don't take care of those things. You'll have to talk to somebody else." And it was, I'll tell him, it was Miguel Pagan. It was Miguel. So you knew that, right? So,
I knew
if you know Miguel, you know that he has never met a stranger, including the Pope. But the Pope said, I don't take care of those things. He goes, okay, well, who should I call? You know? And the Pope just looked at him. He goes, it's been nice. And then the Pope mobile took off, and everybody around us was like, who is that guy? You know. But anyway, but I guess I use that as an example of saying that as a student in UD in Rome, you get up close and personal with the church, and you get to celebrate Mass in some awesome places that you've only seen pictures of or heard about, and your education is just broadened so much. It's just, there's a richness in the programs in Rome with UD, and UD has, they have a well-known presence there. The UD Romers are better known in Rome than they are here in Dallas, unfortunately. And so I wanted to tell you about this today because I wanted to say, if you have children or grandchildren who are college age and are looking to enrich their education, especially if they're liberal arts students, take a look at that program. It's fully accredited. One of the professors was Dr. Sanford, the president of the university. The priests from, they're the regular professors from UD that were there this summer with me was Dr. Alexander. She brought her whole family over with her. Dr. Sue Hansen, who's been at UD for I don't know how many years. Dr. Andrew Moran is the head of the summer program, and he's been at UD for over 20 years. Dr. Sanford, I mentioned. Father Stephen Gregg from Cistercian was one of the instructors this summer. So it's like the brightest and the best of the UD faculty also participates in that program. So you're not going over there and listening to a graduate assistant talk. You are being taught by the people who have written the books on these subjects, and it's awesome. A little bit about the campus. I mentioned it was the new campus is called Due Sante, and Due Sante means is Italian for two saints, and it's supposedly on the site, legendary but fun to think about, on the site where St. Paul and St. Peter met and rested before they went into Rome, and there's a well near that site. It's on the Appian Way. I'm sure you've heard of the Appian Way, and the facilities there. There's a villa where Dr. Romes, who's the head of the program in Rome, lives with his family. There's also some apartments there for faculty. The faculty apartments are air conditioned, which was huge this summer when it was hotter in Rome than it was in Dallas this summer. But the students don't have those luxuries. The students' big luxury is there's a cappuccino bar in the student center. But they have great dorms. It's kind of more like old school dormitories where there are 3 or 4 people to a room, big rooms, but 3 or 4 people to a room, and shared baths, no air conditioning, but just a beautiful facility. It's walking distance. It's about 1.5 miles straight uphill to Castel Gandolfo. It's about 1 mile straight downhill to Burger King. The places where the students hang out, but also within walking distance, I mentioned Castel Gandolfo, is the Vatican Observatory. and the Catholic Institute of Technology, which is another awesome institution. I don't know if you've heard of, but it's fairly new, and they pair up with MIT on a lot of projects and do lectures. The opportunities for students at University of Dallas in Rome are just incredible. But you don't have to be a UD student to participate in that, and that's what I wanted to get out there today. Is if you're an undergraduate student and you need some hours in literature or history, go to Rome, because you will never forget that. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Actually, I probably didn't do it justice. Dr. Greg Roper, who's the Dean of Students, was going to come with me today, and he had a conflict. So he was there this summer with us too. He was just visiting. I guess one other thing I want to say about it is the students who are known as UD Roamers. They have the Fromers, who are the fall roamers, and they have the Spromers, who are the spring roamers. but and then the summer students are just kind of like stepchildren. But anyways, if you say like, I went to Rome summer, like, oh, I went in the fall. Good for you. The fall students get to do something that the other students don't get to do, and that is they get to harvest the grapes in the vineyard. And so that's a big event. But being a roamer from University of Dallas is like being part of a really tight-knit family, and they have their own reunions separate from the university. They have their own little clusters separate from the university. So it's almost like being an Aggie, except on a really small scale. I have a couple kids who are Aggies, so I get that. Anyway, so that's the Rome program, and I can't say enough about it. As from the vocations standpoint, the seminarians get to go to Rome in the summer. Seminarians can't do the fall or spring semester because the formation at the seminary is very, very structured, and that doesn't work into the structure. But they do get to go, some of them do get to go to the summer in Rome, and especially ones who have brought credits with them to the seminary. That Rome program helps them get out of seminary a year early and move on to the major seminary. So the last few summers we've had seminarians attend, and as seminarians, they get to serve at masses in all these places. They get to serve Mass at St. Peter's. We did Mass this year. I was honored to be able to celebrate Mass at the chair of St. Peter in St. Peter's Basilica, which is just never happens. But the seminarians from HTS served at those Masses. So that's a special thing for them as well. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say about UD Rome. And Deacon Ryan, do you have anything to add to that? It was awesome. It was when I knew I was retiring this year. This year. It came. Father Vincent said I was supposed to retire. Retirements happen July 1st. He's like, if you want to retire 6 weeks early, UD's looking for a chaplain for the summer, and he's like, your name has come up a few times if you're interested. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'll retire when I get back. He's like, yeah, we're not going to pay you, but UD did, so that was okay. But it was a great experience, and I've got to say, even though I was blessed to participate in that program, I can't imagine how it would have changed me if I had been part of that program as an undergraduate student, and how that would have better formed me and even made me a better priest. So please support that program. If you know of anybody that might want to do that, the applications each year close about mid-January. And if you go to their website, udallas.edu, you go down the right-hand side, and there's a tab that says Rome Program, and you click on that, and it gives you all the details of summer Rome. And so encourage your friends who have college-age kids to take a look at that.